It's Tuesday, April 24th, and I'm your host, Paula Hersey. On today's show, we learn more about the Marston's Mills Streetscape project and this public information meeting this week from town engineer Paul Graves. The Barnstable Senior Center celebrated their volunteers at a luncheon last Friday, and we captured some of the highlights from the Hyannis Main Street Open Street Festival this past weekend. But let's start with some news you can use. Yarmouth and Barnstable police departments are warning residents of a money solicitation scam related to the death of K-9 Sergeant Sean Gannon. The Barnstable Police Department has received several calls stating they are raising money for the Sean Gannon Fund. This is a scam. The phone numbers used so far are 508-418-0069, 508-418-0431, and 508-418-0979. There are no active phone solicitations being conducted to raise money. Anyone wishing to donate may do so through the Yarmouth Police Foundation. They accept in-person donations at the Yarmouth Police Headquarters or visit the Yarmouth Police Foundation's website for mail and online donations, www.yarmouthportpolicefoundation.org/donate. The Town of Barnstable Department of Public Works is holding a public information meeting regarding planned improvements along Route 149 between Route 28 and Lovells Lane in Marston's Mills. The meeting will be held at 6:30 p.m. on Wednesday, April 25th at the Liberty Hall, 2150 Main Street, Marston's Mills. The purpose of this meeting is to provide residents an opportunity to review the proposed improvements and to learn more about the project timeframe for construction. We wanted to learn more about the Marston's Mills Streetscape project, so we invited Paul Graves, Barnstable Town Engineer, to the studio today to give us an in-depth look on the timing and changes. Joining me in studio is Town Engineer Paul Graves. Welcome, Paul. How are you?
Thank you. Very good.
Big meeting coming up in the Mills, Marston's Mills Streetscape, a public information meeting, going to be Wednesday evening, 6:30 p.m. Tell us a little overview of how this project kind of came to be.
Project was initiated several years ago. There were discussions, particularly with the Village Association, with some town leaders. And there was the notion that, people wanted improvements in that area. And so this project has been in planning and then design for several years. And we're getting ready for construction this fall. Okay. So we want to have this meeting to bring people up to date on what the project is, what it's going to achieve, and answer any questions they might have.
So, contrary to popular opinion, engineering isn't this quick thing that you can, just do a road really quickly. It takes years to really put these projects on the books and to get started with them. And when we're talking about that, how about some of the improvements that came through? What's really going to be done in the village? It's a tight intersection at the Cash Market and Main Street area, and then going up through Lovells Lane where the fire station is. There's a number of improvements slated. Can you kind of update the residents on what those would be?
Yes. So the types of improvements people wanted in general are improved pedestrian and bicycle facilities, some traffic calming to try to slow vehicles down, and then also some beautification elements. So, some landscaping, some period-style lighting, and all of those will be in the project, along with fresh pavement so that it's a smooth ride through there when we're done.
It's a little bumpy now, but there's a reason for that, right?
Yes. So one of the things we do up front early in a project after we've obtained funding and have met with stakeholders to get their input. We also reach out to utility companies and let them know that if there's any underground improvements that need to happen, we need that to happen before we repave the road. And so the gas company has gone through and replaced their lines. The water company has done the same through the area, and that's why you see those trenches. And it's bumpy through there now, but better to have that done before it's repaved than
Right.
after.
Well, the good thing about the bumpiness is it has slowed the traffic down a little bit through that area. I thought this was really nice, is that there's going to be a little boardwalk area over to the mill pond, which tends to have a lot of traffic, just people looking at the swans or possibly the herring. Can you tell us a little bit about that structure that's going in?
Right, so there'll be sidewalks, traditional sidewalks from the commercial area, basically at the intersection of Route 149 and Main Street, that area, over to the mill pond. And along the road side of the mill pond, there's not sufficient room for a sidewalk, so we'll actually put in a boardwalk and so that it will serve as a sidewalk along there. And that will be a great place for people who want to view the pond. And of course, you know, there's the fish run along there as well that people can go over and see.
Yeah, the herring are running right now.
Yes.
It's really cool. So tell us a little bit about how and what residents are going to learn at this meeting.
Well, basically, for anyone who attended any of the past meetings, this will be a refresher, but for anyone who didn't, in either case, we want to let people know, here's what the project is going to deliver in terms of the street improvements. New pavement, better sidewalks, more crosswalks, better crosswalks, landscaping, period style lighting, improved drainage, and also to be able to answer any questions they may have about, you know, during construction, how is traffic going to be maintained? Those kind of things.
Right, so there's going to be some, that's a really heavily traveled commuter area from 28 to Route 6. Will there be detours so people won't get stuck in this in the mornings and the afternoons, kind of getting them out of that construction area a little bit?
Yes, so we'll do both. We'll maintain traffic through there because some people either are originating in that area or that's their destination or one of their destinations. So there'll be police details so that, you know, the point where construction work is currently occurring, police can guide vehicles back and forth through there. But for anyone who wants to avoid the disruption, we'll set up detours where they can go around from, you know, Route 28 to Route 6A, for example.
Excellent. So Wednesday, 6:30, Liberty Hall, which is a great little venue unto itself. And we do understand that there's limited parking in the area. So they can park at the school, but not the church this time.
That's right. We've heard that the church has a function that evening, so they need to avoid disrupting that. But there's plenty of parking over at the school. There's a little bit of parking at the hall itself. Probably want to try to reserve that for people with limited mobility if we can. So maybe people want to build in just a little extra time to walk over from the school or wherever they might park in the area.
Excellent. Well, anything else you want to tell us about the project? I'm excited. I'm a Mills resident, so I'm not sure I'll be excited for the construction part of it in September, but I'm excited that there's going to be some improvements in that area.
Yes, there's always with construction, there's a little bit of disruption, or a lot, depending on your point of view, but the end product should be good for decades to follow, so it should be worth it, and we're excited and looking forward to it.
Great. Thanks for joining us, Paul.
Thank you.
Volunteers are the backbone of any organization, and the Barnstable Senior Center is privileged to have over 160 dedicated individuals who contributed 7,000 hours, resulting over $140,000 value to our community. Here are some highlights from the volunteer luncheon held last Friday.
You know, the luncheon, I think for us collectively, it's an opportunity for all of our volunteers to come together as one. So day in, day out at the Senior Centre, my staff and I are so lucky to get to work with all of our volunteers, over 165 volunteers that we have that are active right now, and they help us in so many ways. But the volunteer luncheon, which we hold during National Volunteer Week every year, it's just a way for us to kind of just acknowledge them all at one time, and thank them just for the the contributions they make, and they truly do make the Senior Centre a better place. And like I said today, my team and I just feel like our volunteers are at the very heart of what we do here. We learn from them. They give us the gift of their time, and for one of the really, I think, meaningful things for volunteers is that many volunteers came to us because maybe they retired to Cape Cod and didn't really know a lot of people, and sort of becoming involved with the town, and particularly with the Senior Centre, was a way for them to kind of develop roots in the community and kind of feel that sense of connection, to our wonderful town that we, are so proud of. And, it helps them feel a sense of community and, feel like they're giving back. So it really is a symbiotic relationship where, we gain from their time, and it gives them, which is really important when you talk about, healthy and successful aging, it's having a sense of purpose as you go through life. And when people have more time on their hands, you don't want people sitting at home in front of the TV. That's not really the optimal way to, live out your later years, but to feel a sense that you're making your community better. I can't think of a better way, to be able to feel like you're doing, good deeds. So for us, for the staff, we try honestly every day to celebrate our volunteers because they are an extension of what we do and a very important part of the services and programs that we offer. So we try and thank them day in, day out and make it a really, fun, rewarding, valuable experience. But having everybody today, it's so nice for us because we get to see all of our volunteers together and everybody's just having a great time. It was a long winter, spring finally feels like it's here, and it feels like it's a good time to celebrate,
Give our residents who might be thinking of volunteering, it is National Volunteer Week, give our residents somewhat of an idea of what types of volunteer opportunities are here at the Barnstable Senior Center.
Right, well, they really are plentiful. So any program service that we provide, we, can always use the support of volunteers. Typically, it's, it's what we try and do with volunteers. We have a volunteer orientation every month with our Assistant Director, Donna Burns, who oversees our volunteer program. And what we really want to do is try and make sure it's the right fit so that it really is a meaningful, positive experience. So typically, when somebody comes in through the doors and they say, well, I've got some time, I'd like to be able to volunteer, we really sit down with them, try and find out what kind of sense like that they feel like what their strengths are, what kind of fit that they could be. So typically the most sought after positions, are front desk volunteer. We've got volunteers that like to be in the middle of everything. They like the hustle and bustle of seeing people coming in and out of the building and really welcoming and greeting them. We always have a need for volunteer drivers. Transportation is one of the critical services that we provide to seniors in our community that can no longer drive, that need to get to medical appointments, the grocery store, the bank, all the things they need to, places they need to get to in order to stay independent. So for us drivers, the commitment, because it really is, we provide this service 5 days a week, and we can only provide the service when we have, the drivers, and we have one paid driver, and then it's complemented by, we have a crew, a wonderful team of volunteer drivers that, as often happens with volunteers, there's a time where their time comes to an end, and they may be thinking either for maybe medical reasons they can't continue to volunteer, or maybe sometimes they're moving away, or just can no longer do it. So we're always looking for kind of that sort of succession, and trying to find new people to replace our volunteers that do retire. So drivers critical and simple things like helping out with special events throughout the year where we always need a lot of hands-on effort. As you can see today, we don't have any volunteer help today because we're honoring our volunteers, so it's really a hands-on effort by the staff. But usually when we have special events, we can always appreciate help with setup, and then our Compass newsletter that we send out bi-monthly. I mean, that's really important for us to make that connection to the communities. They know about all of our programs and services, and we have a mailing crew that comes in every other month, and they sit here and they assemble, like 4,000 newsletters and put labels on them. So there's so many different opportunities, and we'll always try and make it a fit for somebody. Once they're interested, that's the main thing.
If you had one word to describe today, what would it be?
For me, it's privilege. I feel privileged to be among this group of people today and every day. But you know, having been here for over a decade now and having had the, you know, the honor of working with so many of our volunteers over the years, some who sadly are no longer with us, and talking about, you know, the contributions. You can talk about it in terms of hours and dollars, you know, but for me, it all comes down to, it's been, you know, a privilege for me to be able to develop relationships and connections and really see how they really have made our community a better place. So.
What a wonderful day here at the Senior Center, this volunteer luncheon. Tell me what the feeling is, Paul.
Well, the feeling is of celebration and togetherness, and if you want an example of community, you just go in that room and you see all the people together, working together, not just for today, but year-round. So I think it's just a wonderful place and a wonderful opportunity to come and say hi to our neighbors.
As a town councilor, how important is for you to understand the funding and how their capital improvements just came through town council recently?
Yes, it was a big ticket item, as you know, over $700,000. And but you know, we have to maintain our buildings, and especially this one that serves you know, a large part of our community. You know, the amounts of seniors are growing constantly in the population here in the town. So we want to make sure that this building is in the best condition it can possibly be in to keep serving our people. So it was a unanimous vote, and I'd like to think that any time the school kids come in front of us or the seniors, we're going to be giving them all of our 100% support. So it's absolutely awesome.
Oh, I think everyone's really happy. They're very appreciative of all the volunteers. I believe the numbers were like 160 people, 7,000 hours in a year. That's an amazing, I mean, it would be very difficult, I think, for this place to run without that volunteerism, because they don't have the funding for that kind of staff. And so it's kind of a community here. I'm in here once a month or twice a month for meetings. You know, we do a lot of the fundraising, the Friends of the fundraising arm, for the things that they don't get funded for town. So this is the kind of thing that we can help out with, which is great for appreciation for all the volunteers. And we get included because we are volunteers as well. Socialization is always important, so this is a really happening place. I mean, there's lots of classes, there's always someone to help you, and it keeps, some of the volunteers are older, so it keeps them engaged in life too. So I think that it's really an all-around win-win. You know, they come here and there's enough people around to welcome them or to help them with a question, especially if they're new here. And they, you know, again, the staff is only so big, so they wouldn't be able to do all of that. A lot of the people that answer the phone are volunteers of all ages. They're not just, I mean, they do have some people in there and younger, and I believe they have a lot of volunteers from capabilities too, which is a great thing. So that brings in a different generational age, so that's nice too.
Well, it's been great fun. It's a social outlet, and I've gotten to know a great group of people. No, I've been doing them for quite a few years. I love this one. The food was wonderful. The music was perfect. I don't know who that group is, but they're terrific. They know the music to play for us guys.
If you had one word to describe the Barnstable Senior Center, what would it be?
I'm hard put to come up with one.
Give me a couple.
Well, it's sort of a home away from home, and for a lot of us. It's a place where you meet your friends, and you meet new people, and there's every kind of thing to keep you occupied here. It's a pretty good place to know about.
For 5 hours this past Sunday, April 22nd, Main Street Hyannis was closed to cars, but very much open to pedestrians, bicyclists, and other foot traffic as the village enjoyed its first open street festival of 2018. Residents were literally dancing in the streets. Enjoy this video montage of all the fun.
The Hyannis Open Street 2018. The organization is the Greater Hyannis Civic Association. We're thrilled to put this on, and we're thrilled with the turnout. Everybody seems to be having an absolute wonderful time. It is a great opportunity to celebrate the outside and not putting anything bad in the environment. This is our 7th one, and why it's good is because it's free, it works for all ages, all abilities. We have people going up and down the street in wheelchairs. We have hundreds and hundreds of kids down there on the bouncy houses just having a great time. And it actually introduces people to Main Street. When you walk it, you see a lot more of the good things on it. We get a lot of help from the bid because many of their members are on the street. They're also our members and on the committee. So it's a good partnership, and you know, you just see people walking in and recognizing people they haven't seen forever. So it's really good.
Having a fantastic day. It's a wonderful idea. Great to see the sun and everybody out and enjoying.
And on Main Street, you've got Jack, we've got girls rollerblading down the street in springy t-shirts, and everyone's happy. We love Hyannis Main Street.
Here's now a look at our community calendar. Local retailers are empowering Cape Cod women to feel beautiful. The current quarterly will host its 6th annual fashion show and shopping event to benefit We Can, women's empowerment through Cape Area Networking. Cape Cod, Mass, where local women model spring looks from locally owned shops for a fun and upbeat runway show with DJ James Sonetti Lee. Raffle tickets will be available to win goodies from participating stores and organizations. Light fare and We Can wine will be served. Advanced tickets are recommended for the April 25th event held at the Cultural Center of Cape Cod and starts at 5 p.m. Tickets and more information is available at www.wecancenter.org. We Can empowers Cape Cod women with unique services that inspire hope and bring increased opportunity, self-sufficiency, and stability. We Can's mix of programs, workshops, and services are tailored to each woman's needs with the goal of fostering independence. Over 35% of participants receive more than one service from We Can. Now, here's a look at this week's meeting calendar. We hope you'll join us again tomorrow for an update from the Barnstable Police Department and a legislative update with State Representative Randy Hunt, and more. We leave you with this quote today from Theodore Roosevelt, our 26th U.S. President. Be practical as well as generous in your ideals. Keep your eyes on the stars, but remember to keep your feet on the ground. I'm Paula Hersey, and thank you for watching Barnstable Today.